So welcome everybody to the second part of this, the growth mindset. So like we have said in this first stage and learned a little about the growth mindset. The growth mindset is like a continuous process. We continue grow, keep developing, keep moving, keep learning about things and being open to challenges, being like an explorer, ever learning, open to taking up challenges, becoming the best version of ourselves and just making sure that we're giving it our all at every time. So let's say you keep looking at challenges, opportunities as an opportunity, as a means to grow, a means to do better. So when you set out to do anything, I used to tell people, anything you set out to do with a certain deadline, do not go start changing deadline every day. Even though you do not meet the deadline, the best thing is try to meet the deadline. So we're going to be talking about this thing. Try to meet the deadline. Then if you do not meet the deadline, you should now sit down and reflect. Reflective thinking will help you a lot and see, okay, why did I not meet it? And what can I do better to be able to meet that deadline? So then, so let's Destiny, you have a question. Let's allow Destiny to ask this question before we go into our practicals. You can also read the slides on the listen, applying a growth mindset. Look for one area that you want to grow. But before we go dive into it fully, Destiny, you have the floor. Destiny, are you with us? You can unmute your mic and ask a question, or you can use the chat box. Which one are you using? Okay. Destiny is using chat box. Say, how can I overcome the risks in starting up a business? So now I will answer it using growth mindset. The truth is that first of all, the goal now is so let's not use that to even dive into the class. You see, applying a growth mindset, identify one area, a skill or a concept that you need to work on to be more fully developed yourself as a professional. So people can use the chatbot, everyone can use chatbots. Just say one area of your life that you want to develop so that we can use real life examples and actually tell you how to actually develop it. And I'll tell you a little bit story about myself. In school, when I got into school to study medicine, and they say medicine people do not used to use GP. So we just pass. So all of us in our class were just passing and passing. And we know normally if I not read, I will not if I like, let me not read, I will still pass. Because my own strength, I identified my own strength as attending classes and listening. So because you see that first of all, I've known that if I attend class, majorly I remember I can write and do this. So that's my strength. My most strength is that they read and assimilate quickly. And you need to now practice that self-reflection and know, okay, what will be your strength and deliberately work on that, your strength. Then what happened was that in year two, our department medicine now lost their accreditation, the way accreditation also do in Nigeria, where when I saw that because they said the school admitted too many people in 100 level to do medicine direct. So now they had to now start looking for people that they want to drop. All of a sudden that they say we should just pass. Now everybody have passed. So we're going to 200 level. They now change the goalpost and say everyone has to meet a certain level of GP. You have to score at least up to 3.9. And why some of us were just scoring 3.5, 3.6, 3.7 before you can now go to medicine. So that kind of thing actually makes people know, and a lot of people got discouraged. And people changed departments. Some people just, first of all, people did not even have hope that they were going to get the department and the accreditation back. So a lot of people, very few of them stayed, and they actually did longer in school. Those that stayed, then a lot of people now, a lot of us changed department. Me, I was part of the people that changed department. Then getting into the new department, it's not what you want to do now. First of all, when you're not doing what you want to do, it's very hard for you to be able to concentrate and do it fully and give it your best. So at the end of the day, I was not very serious in school. I ended up going to a 2 point something GP in med lab science. And I was like, So semester have ended. Second semester have ended. And I've gone from 3 point something to a 2 point something. Then in 300 level, I sat myself down and told myself, I need to grow, I need to develop. And if I continue in this part, of course, still you know that it's 2-2, I'm going to use to graduate, or even third class. And as a person that's always continuously seeking improvement, I started learning new skills, started facing this as a new challenge. So I said that when I started learning about growth mindset and start living fit myself. So what are the good things that can come out from this? What are the lessons I can learn and how can I use it to become better? So I learned skills on how to learn anything fast, which are some of the things we are going to be learning in our community. We teach people skills on how to learn things. There's how to learn, or there's a skill on how to learn. A lot of people don't even know that skill that you can actually learn to learn. And I learned those skills and I used it to go from a 2 point something GP to constantly grow to 3.9, 3.8, 3.9 to 4 point something GP. I actually ended up graduating with a 4 point GP because I decided to sit down and make a plan and design where I want to go. I know that I can actually be better. And I used to say one thing like, not be book, we go read them. As long as it's written down, there are people that are reading and assimilating it. You can actually put it to yourself that you can actually also read it and assimilate it. It may take you, maybe if you take them 1 hour, it may take you 3 hours, but it's time. And with practice, what I've learned in everything that we do in life is that with practice, we all become better. When we keep practicing, we keep moving forward and we become better. So it's very important that we now learn to put those things by creating an action plan to develop this skill or concept. So now my own was in that time was learning. In case of Michael now, the skill or concept will be a business. What do you now do? You have to develop an action plan. So how exactly do you want to get there? If you say you want to get to a mountain, it's not just enough to have that mindset and sit down and start looking at the mountain. It's taking challenge. So the difference between a goal and a wish. A wish is something like I want to do, and you're waiting for maybe angel to throw it down from heaven for you to be able to accomplish it. But a goal is something that you define that you must work towards. That means after you define it, you know that there are certain things that you need to do and you need to put in place to work towards accomplishing that goal. How do you get there? That is where we are going to be talking and we are going to be using. If you have your question, drop it so that we can use it and teach you because we're going to do this as an assignment. Applying a growth mindset, identify that area that you want to grow. And Michael wants to grow to his business. How do you overcome the risks of starting a business? There's always risks in everything. How do you overcome it? By making sure that you're not afraid of failing, first of all. You're open to learning, you're open to the challenges. Then you develop a plan. Very important. You should not just go into the business without knowing it. That is how people get fail in the first place. By rushing into things without studying them very well. You develop a plan and see, okay, how can I learn this thing better and how can I use it to become better? And so, first of all, you need to know exactly the kind of business you want to go. So, let's just say, how do we develop an action plan? Because you have to develop an action plan. You want to take step now, action. So, these are 7 steps to developing an action plan in my own way. There are different ways of developing action plan, but action plan is like a book, a paper. You have A, where you are, B, where you want to go to. So, or you can even use one sheet of paper to go from A to B. So when you have, let me get a free paper. So if you have your goal and the thing you want to do, you can also do this exercise where you go from A. So A is the point here, and to go to B. So from A to B, I don't know if you can see that. From A to B, right. There is an action step that you want to take from A to B. That line, that space in between A to B is what you are planning to. What wants to feel it? This is where you are. This is where you want to get to. What do you want to use to feel that A to B? That is where the planning and definition come in. So, and you know that definitely you can get there. The only thing is you have not gotten there yet. What do I need to do to get there? Because like one of the code that we already said, you cannot have the same mindset and want to get the same results. You have to be able to change and upgrade your mindset. So first of all, you start by step one, define your objectives, how you want to achieve it, what plans are you going to put? Your objective should be specific. It should not be too broad. Even though you have a very big goal, you can always break it down. It should be measurable. Like in the case of business, what business do you want to start? You can put it in this thing. How, if it's a sales, how are you going to measure your progress? Because some people used to say they are failed when there was never a mark. If you did not ever set goal, you cannot fail. Because when some people say I fail, I like, what are you measuring against? Because maybe you have to set, maybe I want to hit 500 this, or I want to hit. A lot of students in schools nowadays, there's no goal. I just want to go to school and pass. You see, in my own case, in the story, I set a goal. I wanted to make sure I graduated, and the minimum I should graduate was a 2 point, was a second class upper. So I set a goal. So immediately I set a goal. So the next question was, what should I do? And you see that you will be able to grow. At the same time, I became president in my department, president in school, even president of SUG. The Senate, I was also president of Senate before I even entered SUG. So you see that you constantly growing while you set a plan and you believe that I can do anything I put my mind to. So once you tell yourself you can do anything you put your mind to, you start learning. And even though you don't do it today, you know that it's just not yet, but tomorrow you try again. So you have to be measurable, you have to be achievable, something that is really achievable. It should be realistic, not just really fake. It should be something that is, you cannot just go from, although it's possible nowadays, from saying I want to, from trekking to buying a plane. From trekking to buying a plane there's a long journey and long distance towards that. So you need to see the steps that you want to go from that trekking towards buying that plane. So you want to break it down from A to B. What are the things you are going to do in between? There's always something to do before you do another thing. They say before you even get up from bed, you have to wake up. Before you even wake up, it's because there's something that you always need to do. Before you think of even getting up, your eyes have to open. So if you look at everything in the world, there's something you have to do before you can get what you want to get. So your job is to identify that thing you want to do so that you can do it and get that thing that you want to get. It has to be relevant and it has to be time bound. Some people say realistic and time bound because why? Because if you set, they say anybody can do anything if it's used 1,000 years. You want to because you have to make sure that it's time bound. How long do you want to do it and how long is it going to take you? Because the truth is that we're human beings and we do not have forever. We have specific time. So the next step is break down this objective into smaller achievable goals. I say if you want to have 1,000 people in your conference, start by having 10. Start by having one. For one, you go to the next 5. From 5, you now see, you learn and see which things did I not put in place, which things did I put in place, and how can I do it to achieve more, and how can I do it to get more people to attend, and how can I do to get more people to reach that certain level and that certain skills. So start from 1, go to 10 before you go to the next ladder. There's a ladder, I'm going to share the image in the group, where you see people trying to go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and at the end of the day, they see that in the next month, they have actually gotten over 100. Let's say if it's making money, 10,000 naira, 10,000 naira, you're making 30,000 naira every week or every 2 days. And at the end of the day, you see that you have made more than when you have trying to just go from making 0 to 100,000. So you see the gap, and it now looks like a very harder than when you're trying to go for just making 10, the next 10, you're thinking of the next 10, the next 10, the next 10. Just adding it up to make sure that you get to, because once you have identified the objectives, break it down into smaller achievable goals and start working on the goals. Because one thing about achieving the small goal is that it actually push you toward achieving the rest. And it reassures that your growth mindset and confidence is that in yourself to say that, yes, I can actually really do it. It's not just theory. It's something that I can actually do. So you keep working on it and keep doing it. Then the next step Okay. The next step is determine the resources needed. So what do I need to do to get this thing? How do I get those resources? What are the resources available, such as time, money, personal skills, technology, and other resources? In the world today, we have all the technology that is available to us, but a lot of people are not even using it yet. From the introduction section, we saw people that there's LinkedIn, they're into business, but they don't, some most people are even into business, but they don't have a Instagram account. So how are you showing your goods? How are you showing your services? There are a lot of tools. Your job is to use them to the best of your abilities. Most of them are even free nowadays. So put your energy towards learning them, using them. So what time will it cost you? What money? And what data? Do you know that some people are getting free data? Some people can actually, there are some platforms where you can answer questions and get paid. So it's, you start learning and saying, okay, how can I learn those things and use them to become, what technology can help my skill or help me become better and function better. Remember, if you have any question, just use the chat box so that I can answer your questions as we are progressing. So now we're using the business that Michael talked about. Michael, you have to be specific. Remember, you want to start a business. There are plenty business. So do you want to sell aeroplane? Or you want to sell cars? So first of all, being very specific, like I said from the first slide. The other one is set deadline. Let's remember, it's very important. For each goal, there should be a sub goal and there should be set deadlines. Once you are following your deadline, so follow your deadline so that you can learn. Then you can now redo the next one and do it better. So follow your deadline, keep learning and keep doing it. Be realistic. Also face every of this in like a challenge that you're actually trying to go to. You're trying to do better. You're trying to work on it and become better with those deadlines. Then assign responsibilities. I used to say all the things I've achieved, I have not even achieved anyone alone. It's easier to work with people. That is the reason why we're building the community of people of like minds, where you have people who are skilled in various aspects. So you don't get to do everything by yourself. I used to say, what's the point in doing everything by yourself when you can leverage on other people? Because at the end of the day, somebody will still ask you to help them do something. So learn to help people and also learn to ask people for help so that you can also leverage your skills to achieve more. It's called networking, building your network so that you have a valuable resource of people that you can count on, and you also be a valuable resource that others can count on. Just today, I've actually done a lot of meeting with a lot of people, different skills, gotten paid for various skills that I'm actually delivered today because of my network and the skill and the value I have to deliver to those people. So be responsible and learn to network and work with people. And everything to accomplish those goals, I used my team members to ensure that we break down those goals into various parts. And you cannot divide the parts. It's like trying to fix a car. Only you want to do everything. It's going to take long. But if you have some people working on the tire, some people working on the pen, some people working on the engine, you see that what it takes only you, let's say 10 hours to do. You take 10 of you 1 hour to do it. So, and it's fun because at the end of the day, so producing one car in 10 hours, people can produce 10 cars in 10 hours. All of you now have cars. So it's leveraging on the opportunities. Then monitor progress, keep track of your progress and adjust your plans as needed. Sometimes the first plan that you use to start will not be working as much as you want to be. So going from that point A to point B, now be able to check and see, okay, what is happening, what is going well, and what is not going well. What do we need to change and what do we need to upgrade? So this is called that monitoring and evaluation in some places. Check your team members regularly. Check if you need new people in your team. Check if you need to upgrade your certain skill, if you need to take a course, if you need to get a certification. And as you are growing every day, you start seeing this, and you'll be able to track your achievements and monitor those progress. Then the last but not the least is to celebrate success. A lot of us used to look down and say, I was not successful, and this thing I did not achieve it. So I used to say, if even though you wanted to achieve, you were 0, you wanted to achieve 100, but you ended up achieving 10, celebrate your 10 because you were 0. remember that you were 0. So 10 is a good start. So it means that you can try again. When you try again, you can achieve 20. When you try again, you can achieve 50. When you try again, you can achieve that 100 that you want to. You should know that, like we defined in the first section, a growth mindset sees challenges and it actually sees success as a journey rather than a destination. So you keep learning, you keep growing, you keep developing yourself, and you keep pushing forward. It's very important that you tell yourself, I'm not going to give up no matter what. I can do everything I put my mind to. So you keep working and you keep going. And okay, yes, I've seen from the chat box now. Michael said his business he was trying to start is barbing shop. So there are a lot of components to this. So like let's going from point A to point B in this our diagram. You want to start barbing shop, that middle now. What's in that middle? It's you have to evaluate yourself. Do I have the skills? Do I first of all need to go and learn how to barb very well? And guys, tell people, one of the quotes say, if you have a skill, if you have a skill that people that cannot ignore, if your skill is good enough, you always find ways to grow it. So having a barbing shop, that's the goal. Do I have enough resources? You have to be realistic. Or do I need to partner with somebody first to have a shop? Or do I need to first of all work with somebody in barbing shop so that I can save enough money to partner? Or do I need to start the working, then from there go to partnership? So there's one of our the office we have been using in the past 2 years is in partnership. You know, a lot of work we do nowadays are remotely. So we learn to use Office 24/7. So instead of us to pay for the full office space, we partner with another company that is actually also sharing the cost of that office space. So, and even for the past 4 months, I've not even been there, just my staff that have been going to the office. So you see that you are leveraging on your skills and trying to play it wise so that you can save funds, be more strategic in applying so that you can also build your sustainability and use those tools and technology. Why are we no longer using Office consistently? It's because of technology. We are here this evening because of the use of technology, Zoom platform and online technology that are available to us, which we'll be dealing very detailed in tomorrow. We'll be talking about tools, 21st century tools that can actually help you start a business. You'll be learning a lot of tools on that tomorrow, Michael, and you see exactly how you can grow it, develop your action plan, and get started and get to work from tools that are available to you nowadays, 21st century tools. First of all, anyone that is here. Another thing, so let me just teach you guys something before we go. You go back to your group, the group now, and reintroduce yourself. When you want to introduce yourself in a group of such nature, it's an opportunity for you to sell yourself and even gain followers. And when you want to introduce yourself, there is a way you type it that makes it. When you tell people introduce themselves, they just say your handles, they just put their handles without putting the acronyms to it. There is a way you type your handle. www.instagram, for example, .com / your handle. So if my handle is let's say Ore Innovations, www.instagram.com / Ore Innovations. If your handle is scientist Omojefe underscore this thing, that is how to write your handle. So if you write your handle like that, it means that just from introducing yourself in a group, you can actually start getting followers and start getting people to follow you. Those are like the kind of skills we'll be learning tomorrow, to being able to upgrade yourself and upgrade your skills so that you can just post your group, your link on groups, and at the end of the day, somebody just wants to check you out and see what you are doing. And that is how you start getting connections and start linking with people. Use events to make sure that you are connected to people, you keep learning and you keep growing. So if anyone have any questions, we'll be taking your questions. I hope you have learned something. Share with us what you have learned on the group. Also, go back and introduce yourself. Use your handle. If it's LinkedIn, go and copy your LinkedIn handle. There's a place to copy your LinkedIn handle. Put it on the group so that people can start following you, gaining traction. Why? Let's say popularity today is just Facebook, and let's say you have 10,000, let's say 1,000 followers, for example. Don't even don't look at the people that have 10,000 or 10,000 and no 10,000 is buying. Look, try to gain 1,000 engaging followers. 1,000 engaging followers, and if you are selling a product of 1,000 and let's say only 100 of them buy every month, that's 100,000 consistently from your engaging followers. Because why? You are targeted and you are following them rather than having 10,000 followers with nobody that is buying your product. So you start growing connections with people that you really want to buy your product, be of value to people, give people value, and you can get value in return. Thank you very much for joining this evening. That's the end. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. The question is still going to be in the group. So let's learn to engage and let's learn to participate. And you are free to ask any questions these 2 days. I'll be on the group to attend to them before the end of tomorrow. We'll be diving into tech, how we can use 21st century tech tools. You'll be surprised all the tech tools that are available today. The ones that can draw, the ones that can help you write, the ones that can help you design. Like the one that want to start business, you can start a full business tomorrow and even finish your business. It's just making sure you have idea, that growth mindset. Once you have that mindset to keep putting in your best, you keep becoming better and keep becoming the best version of yourself. All right, guys, it's been a lovely evening. See you at the top.